Hello everyone, welcome once again for another video in our series of videos on Python for penetration testing. So today we are going to learn on how to automate our SSH script, SSH login. Okay, it's very simple. What we're going to do today, like we have this command to connect with SSH, right? I have my Metasploitable machine running in here, and we do this thing, right? MSF admin, and we can directly go on in this way, and 192.168.43.250, that's my IP address of my Metasploitable machine, and you can easily log in this way, right? This is how we do login directly, and we are going to automate this whole thing with Python. Okay, this login functionality and how our SSH login works and how we can execute a certain command with this Python. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in this session of this video. And what's the purpose of this session, this automating thing? We can easily go on simply just log in by SSH MSF admin. Why we need to go on with the script? This session will clearly explain you how to create connection, how to create connection segment with the Python libraries, and how we can easily understand how a connection is establishing between two machines. Okay, so that's why we are going to see this automation of this SSH login. Okay, so let me exit this and then we'll start creating our script. And I need to create a file in the name of SSH login.py. okay, so I've just created in this way, and we need to create our shebang line, right? So user bin and Python. Okay, and obviously we need a main function, and then we can go on by calling up other functions. Okay, and we need a library called pexpect. So what is this library? This is what a simple library that is responsible for your calling up of functions and your login functionalities that you use in SSH. Okay, so when we go on with our functions with this pexpect, and it will return you the shell and everything, and it will prompt you for password. Everything relies in this one pexpect library. Okay, no problem. Let me log in MSF. Sorry, I need to create my main function, right? So define main function, and in this main function I need to create host. So we will be creating every function in host main function, and then we will call each function from main function. Okay, so I need a host. For that I just need to raw input, and then I'll ask the user for that. It's like enter your target IP. Okay, so in this way I'll ask, and then user raw input. So I'll ask enter SSH username. Okay, and then password equal raw underscore input, then enter the password. So this is what it will prompt for a user when he is trying to log in, when the user tries to log in. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create two functions in here. Okay, the first one, for a function I'm assigning a variable child or connection or anything, so I can create connect in this way, or shell. I can create shell. Okay, shell will be easy for us to understand, right? Shell and connect function, and in this function I will be using three arguments: user, and I'll be using the host, then I'll be using the password. So why? This is the function that where we will try to connect with this command, simply that SSH MSF admin @IP address. That command we will be doing this stuff in this function only. Okay, and then what we have another function to execute a simple command. I'm going to retry one. I'm going to put on command for automation, listing out or present working directory or anything like that. So we need something from the victim's end, right? The target's end. So that's why. So I'll just go on in here, send underscore comment in this way. Okay, what I'm going to send a comment, and I need shell for that, right? I need a shell for that, and I need a command, right? ls and ps, two commands I need. Okay, I need two commands. Okay, I need to use semicolon, not colon, because two commands you can do with the same at the same time simultaneously. You can go on with cat etc password or anything. I'm just logging in with my MSF admin. I'm going to log in with my MSF admin, and that one will not have access for the etc password, and going on with that will waste our time. So that's why I'm just going on with simple command ls and ps. Okay, so that's it, it's done now, and I can call my main function in here. Okay, so once it is done, it will call our main function, and it will call one by one each and every function. So now everything is done. Now I need to create the function for connect. Okay, so define connect. Okay, so user host password, right? Okay, I've defined another connection in here, and what I'm going to do, sometimes the string, when you're going to log in with your SSH, so when you're trying to log in with SSH 192.168.43.250, so when you're trying to log in, it will ask you for, are you sure you want to connect to your RSA key, okay, your new key. So that time that string may create problems when you're trying to connect with the victim's machine. So the same thing you need to add it in here also. So SSH, so add anything, you can assign any variable in here, new key or normal key or anything. Okay, so like that you can add, and then you can add are you sure you want to continue connecting. Okay, so in this way you can add anything, and you can go on with connection string. Okay, what is this connection string? The command that you need to connect. You are typing that SSH space MSF@IP address, right? That's what I'm going to do in here. So connection string, that should be in this way, SSH space and plus and your user, right, then @ symbol, right, and then your IP address, that's host in here. Okay, or you can add in here, you can change it to IP instead of host. You can do anything, you just assigning a variable, it depends on you. Okay, plus host, and now what I'm going to do, I need to now use our shell to connect in here. Okay, so shell in here, that this shell will start connecting with our library. So expect dot spawn, now it will spawn a shell with this connection string command. Now you understand, right? It will open a shell with this connection string command. Okay, it will open a shell, and after that what I need to do, I just need to give two conditions in here. Why? In case if there is no password, if there is mistake in the string, if it is failing to connect with the exact command, that time we need to display some error, right? So that time, for that I need to create a return variable, and this return variable will return shell dot expect. It is expecting a result, return value from the victim's end, that it is p expect. Okay, so it's an argument that you need to add for a particular reply, and SSH new key, if there is no such thing, if it is creating any errors from new key or anything, and it needs a password also, right? So the password can be anything, like it starts with capital P or it can be small p or anything. So that's why I'm just mentioning in this way. Okay, password, and okay, so everything is done, and if the return value is like this, and then it will return me, one second, I need to actually, okay, I think everything is done. I think I need to add it. Okay, now what I will do, I'll just add a condition with it. Okay, the condition will be like if return value is equal to 0, if it returns a false value, and it should print out something like this: error connecting. Okay, and then it should return normal. And in case if it returns 1, there is some value, then what it should return? It should return shell dot send line yes. Okay, what is this yes? Actually, we need to give yes or no when we are trying to connect with the victim's machine, right? So that yes, instead of asking the user for yes or no, of course we want to connect with the victim's machine. We don't, mostly we should not go on, we will not be choosing the option no. So that's why we are giving yes automatically. So we'll send a line yes automatically if everything is right, and then it will go on and it will return in case there is no possibilities that it is having some errors after we are giving the yes option, and it should return some result, right? So that's why I'm adding one more time: return shell dot expect. Okay, then we expect the same line I've just added the above. So timeout comma SSH underscore new key. Okay, then I'll just add the same way. Okay, so done. Now it will print out with a condition. It will print out with a condition that if return equal to 0 with this return value. What I did, I've just added a return value in case if there is an error without any password or anything. If it returns a false value, then it will return error connecting. In case if the user gave everything right, then the command, it will send a line yes for this SSH new key. In case there is also an error, some case, some situations, that time it should return, me like print error connecting. Okay, I can go on with parentheses, open braces also. I'm not just going on with that. This one no need. Okay, and then I'll just return now. Okay, and if everything went very well, then it should return shell. Okay, shell dot send line with the password. Okay, if everything done very well, it will go on and it will ask for the password, and then it will execute the password and everything will go as we expected. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, once the password is done, and it will shell will open a prompt. Okay, what is this? We need to know that really something has happened, right? For that, so prompt, and then I'll just go on to return shell at last. Okay, everything is done. Now what I need to do, I need to create that shell. Okay, the shell can be anything, prompt can be anything, so it will indicate that something will be in the form that everyone can understand. Okay, for that, so it can be anything like hash. Okay, comma or dollar symbol. Sorry, dollar symbol, or like this. Okay, it can be anything. Okay, so once everything is connected, it will return a shell, and connection is done, and we need one more function to finish it up, that is send command function. Okay, so for that I'll just go on in here and I'll create a function in this place. So define send command, and it should run with two function, that is shell and our command. Okay. Okay, shell and also our command, it should go in this way. And what I need to do in here, I'll just okay, so in here I'll go with shell dot send line, our command in here. Okay, so our command, then, and it should go shell expect something from the victim end, right? So that's why we have expect prompt. We expect prompt in here, in this prompt, and then print your shell dot before, so it will just print out the shell, everything with the result. Okay, so everything is done. All done. Okay, now everything is good. I hope I didn't make any mistake in this one. And let me revise the code what we did. First we have our shebang line, and we are library p expect for the interaction for connectivity between two machines to return everything that we need, the prompting of shells and the expected results. Okay, then let's go to our main function, and then we'll look at each and everything. So in main function, it will ask for your password IP address, and it will ask for the username, and it will ask for the password, and it have connection functionality and command function. Okay, so connection function and command function. So connection function runs with the name of connect, and that is having user, host and password, 3 arguments with it. And with that arguments, we need to have a variable that runs with a string of are you sure want to continue, and this is a connection string, the command that you need to connect with. And you have shell, it will spawn a shell with this connect string command, and then it will go on to return the expected results from the victim's end in case if it fails to connect. If it fails to connect, it will return error connecting. If it succeeds connecting, and we need to send a line with the command with the answer yes. Okay, then if there is an error after this connection, then it should return error connecting. And if everything is right, then you should send a password, then it will open a prompt, right? After opening the prompt, you should open your command function, and then it will send a command, and it will return the shell at last. Okay, so that's what our code indicates in here. And now let me save it, and we'll try execute it now. Control X, save it now, enter, and I need to change the permission for the code, and SSH. Okay, now SSH. Okay, I think I didn't make any mistake, very well for the first time, that's good. Okay, MSF admin. I'll wait for the results, maybe it can take some time. Taking quite a bit long than the usual. Okay, it is having some mistakes, maybe in the prompt functionality, and okay, I need to check it out. Timeout. Okay, everything is perfect. Okay, in here I just made a mistake. I assigned it as a variable, but I should have mentioned as a function. Okay, I think now it will work because it's the command function. It should probably pass the command to our shell. Okay, and let me clear this now and we'll try once again, and let me check it once again. 192.168.43.250 and MSF admin, and the password also the same. Okay, and you can see it is listing out the files and it is printing out the processes also. Okay, so this is how we make our automated scripts for login of SSH, login for SSH, and that's very easy. And the simply thing that we need to remember in here is our library, that how it is trying to connect, and in case if it returns some error, what it should return. Okay, that's what you need to maintain in here. And you need to have two functions, and the two functions is one for creating the connection and one for passing the command. Okay, simply the same thing. And everything that you have facing, that every error that you're facing, and clearly indicates that where you are making the mistakes. We have the error mistake, that is it's not passing the command properly, right? It is creating the connection but is failing to pass the connection commands. Okay, so that's where we made a mistake, that in this function I have assigned it as a variable but it's a function. Okay, so that's it in here, and we'll see you in the next session with our SSH brute forcer. So in this session, let's start scripting our own brute forcer, and it's very easy to develop a brute forcer in here along with our SSH login script, because we already made a login script. So I'll just create a new file in here for SSH brute. Okay, SSH brute.py. It will create a new file, and I'm gonna use a part of code from our SSH login code. Okay, so why? Because we need to create connection first, and then we can move on for our brute forcing stuff. Okay, so that's why I'll just copy this code, and one second, my bad, then copy, then I'll just paste it in here. Okay, and everything is the same, just like that. So define and connect, everything is good, and I need a main function in here, exactly the same. And one second, this is where we are going to call our brute forcing function, main function in here. Then I need to call the main function, right? So defining of main function and main function, and then our shebang line. Okay, our shebang line. Next thing we need to add in here is our import functionality, right? So import p expect. Okay, actually this Python library is not available, will not be available in your Python 3, so sometimes you may need to install it by your own. Okay, no need to worry about that, it's very easy with the pip3 install command. Okay, and next what we're going to do in here, we need a host, right? So host equal, and you can ask your prompt your user for enter the IP. Okay, so I'll just leave it in this way, and then you can go on in this user equal raw input, same manner, enter the username. Okay, just go on in this way, and I need a file in here. We're not going to use password directly here, we need to use file. So for that I need to open a file in here. Okay, before going on with the file, I need to copy that file from my desktop to in here, or you can straightly go on to use your files, or you can create your own dictionary files for brute forcing. Okay, so I'm going to use this file msfpass.txt in here. Okay, so I'll just open this and I'll copy root desktop msf underscore pass.txt, and I'll just paste in this one like as pass.txt. Okay, so ls, and you can see there is a file pass.txt. I'm going to use that file only in here. So file open, okay, pass.txt, and that file contains all the passwords that we can brute force. Okay, so pass.txt, I need to add in quotes, otherwise it will not take it as a string. Okay, and then I need to add the read functionality of the file, so it will read each and every password from that file, and then it will start brute forcing. But I need to add a loop in here for password in file dot read lines. Okay, so it will reach each and every lines in that file for password. Okay, and then I'll just go on in this way for it will try now. Okay, what it will try? It will try when it is connecting with the shell, because we have the shell in here, right? Already we started connecting, so that's why we have shell in here. Shell connect functionality, the connect function we used, right? The same one. So user host password. Okay, it will try to connect, and if the password is right and you'll get the positive response, you'll get connected, right? So you'll get the option for printing password found, right? And then your password. Okay, otherwise what will happen? It should return there is wrong password. Okay, it should return print wrong password. In here. Okay, so everything is done. Now we can do our work, but one more thing we need to remember in here: when we do try to connect with exact username and password, if we know, it will just directly connect it. But in here it will try one by one brute forcing thread time takes very quick, but we need to give here the timeout limit. Why? If we didn't give any timeout limit, it will not work properly, because the brute forcing time is very quicker than that establishing connection time. Okay, so that's why we need to establish the timeout in here. For each timeout, for each password, it will wait for 0.5 seconds and it will check it is really connecting or not, and then it will return you the exact password. Otherwise you will not receive any password. All time it will show you you're wrong. Okay, so the same thing, we have prompt in here. I need to finish this, or I'll just copy that the whole stuff. Okay, I can do in this way also, right? Everything is done now, and let me save this code and we'll run this now and we'll check it out. It is checking each and every password and it is returning me exactly the result or not. Save it now. SSH brute and chmod plus x SSH brute. Okay, SSH brute, then now SSH brute. Okay, 1 second. SSH brute, enter. Okay, invalid syntax. Okay, I missed the double colon in here because it's a for loop, right? I should add the double colon here. Now it will work properly. Let me check it out. And 192.168.43.250 and enter the username MSF admin. Okay, wrong password. It is showing the password is wrong. Why? Because it is having an empty line in the middle, and that is why it is returning an error. And so what I need to do, I need to strip that new line, and then I have to do my code. Okay, so your dictionary line should not have any empty line in the middle. If it does have, then you need to remove it. Okay, and how I can remove it, that's very easy. For in here, so I just need to go in this way, and I need to let me run this now. 192.168.43.250, enter, and password should be msf, so username should be msf admin. Okay, variable, get it, sorry, let's correct it now. The mistake is I should use this one in here. The mistake is I should not use this password outside the loop. I have to use this inside the loop, so that it will use that stripped password inside the loop. And okay, I need to remove it. Okay, now it will work for sure. So let's save, enter, and now let me check it out. And 192, let's clear the screen. Actually, it's looking very now 192.168.43.250, and username should be msf admin, the password, and you can see, and it is showing msf admin as a wrong password. And okay, I think I should go on with my time limit in here. Once again, I have to change it, maybe. Let me check it. So what I did in here, I've just changed, I made a small correction for timeout. Previously I was having 0.5, and this timeout is not enough according to my internet connection, and totally your connection totally relies on your speed of your internet connection. So if I use 0.5 seconds, that doesn't work very well for me, and I tried 1, 2 or 3 something, that doesn't work. And when I just go with 5, and it is going very slow, and we can go on with multiple threads also at that time to do our brute forcing at the simultaneous time. And this time it works very well, and I didn't change anything. Even I changed my word lists also. I changed and I removed everything, but still I didn't get anything. But when I tried to change the timing, and then it worked properly. Okay, that's why it's very good to know about your internet connection and your timeout time period. Okay, so that's why I've just mentioned here, and this time it works very well. Okay, so now it is going very well with msf admin username, and it will take 5 seconds each per user password. Okay, so it will take a little bit of time, around 30 seconds for whole checking up of all passwords. I have 5 or 6 passwords in here, and we'll check it out, and it will return us the right value. Okay, and we can add up our the next functionality of adding comments, and you can add colors for green and red. That also you can do with your term color library, and you can do on with your Python 3. At that time you need to change on with print functions. You need to have parentheses in them, right? So now we got the password successfully, and we can now successfully brute force our SSH. We did brute force SSH with a username and a word list. Okay, so that's very simple. What I just did it here, I'll just revise in here SSH brute, and everything I copied it from the connection block of codes from our previous code. And in this one defining of main function, I used a file to open it, and for each password in that file, in read lines, it will strip out the new lines, the empty line, and then it will try connect it with that password and the username. If it tried connect it successfully, and it will print out the password is found, otherwise it will print out the password is not found. Okay, so that's how we make brute forcer for SSH. That's very easy. And now we'll see FTP. Let's start scripting our FTP script in here. And now in this session we'll not develop any login functionalities. Everything is a little bit more like same like SSH what we did, and we'll try to develop a brute forcing tool for FTP also. Okay, so we'll try to do that now. And how we can do that? Let's do that by creating a file nano ftp brute.py. okay, just like the same, we need a shebang line in here. So for that, user bin python, and then we need here our special library in here. Okay, what's the library in here we're going to use? The library is very easy one, that is import ftp library. Okay, so this library is responsible for your login functionality or anything that can work with your FTP functionalities. Okay, so that's why we're going to use this in here. And let me create a main function in here, right? And then let me call it in here, and then we'll do continue to fill up our script in the middle. Okay, so in this one, what I'm going to do, we need a host, right? Obviously, and in this host, I'll just go on to ask the user to give up, enter the IP to brute force. Okay, and then in here pass wd file, password file, because we need a dictionary file, right? And I need to change do some small changes in here with this file, and that is, we have the same file in here, pass.txt, right? The msf admin, same password, I'm going to use it. And this one I need to make some small changes. Instead of going on with my own username, I will be giving up the username in here itself. Okay, so I'll just giving in this way. So the thing, the word that is in front of colon, that is username, and which is right to the colon, that is password. Okay, so in this way, and I've just mentioned in here, and this one holds this right msf admin. Okay, let me save it, and then we can use it now. And in this one, I'll be asking the user raw input, enter the user pass file. Okay, so that's what I want to ask from the user. Okay, then what I need to use in here, I need to use a function to call in here, the brute forcing function. Okay, so brute login I'm using in here, and for that I will be using a host, and I'll be using the password file. Simply, that's it, right? Where only two things I'll use, not much in here, right? Two functions. So now what I'll do in here, I'll just need to define this function now. Define brute login, right? In here I'll just use host and then password file. Okay, I need to use it exactly the same as it is, password file. Okay, and now comes the real part. I need to try one by one. So I'll be trying whether the file is there really or not. So for that, password file, for example, I just need to give a variable in here. I'll be giving file. Okay, file is there. If file is there, open it, and the file should be password pass.txt, right? Pass.txt, and read that file. Okay, if that is the file, then print it out, or if there is a file, open it. No need to print it out. And except if there is no file, then print it out. No such file. Okay. Sorry for that. No such file. Then what I'll do, I'll just add a simple for loop in here for each line, in that file dot read lines. Okay, for each line it will read out each line, and then I'm going to assign username. And how I'm going to assign a username should be like this: line dot split by this one. Okay, and the indexing number 0. What is this? This 0 indicates the first indexing before the colon symbol holds the username. And in here, password equal line that splits exactly the same. Okay, this one. Then it should print it out in this way. Trying plus username plus password. Okay, I need to use it in here. Okay, in this way, because it looks like when it is trying one by one, it will show it is trying this username and password, this is trying this username and password. That's why it looks professional, it looks very good to see. Okay, that's why. And I think we've added enough, and if it finds exactly the same thing, and then it will go. And once it is trying, it should try connecting with the FTP, right? So we need to add that also. So FTP equals FTP library dot FTP. So this is the functionality we have in FTP library in Python. So host. Okay, then it should try now with login variable, and it will try now FTP dot login and username and password. Okay, it will try out logging in with this. Once everything is done, then it will print it out. Login successful. Okay, with username slash password. Okay, in this way, and then we can just quit it. FTP dot quit. Okay, then return the password and username that we want. So username and the password. Okay, so once it is done, then we'll just go on with except. If that condition doesn't work, then we need to return the pass. And then in here totally we can print it out. If it nothing works, then print out password not in the list. Okay, so in this way, I think I've made everything right. I hope I don't make any indentation block errors. We'll check it out, no problem. Let me save it. Okay, now I need to give the permissions: change mode plus x ftp.root, then okay, accept, invalid syntax. Let me check it out. So just made the indentation blocks perfectly, and I missed this try in here, and I need to add one more thing in here. We don't want to face any error in terms of new lines, so I will just add the new lines. I'll just strip the new lines in here. Okay, so let me save it now, and we'll try. And FTP, okay, on 92.168.43.250. and password file pass.txt. okay, and msfadmin, it is trying very well, but for some reasons it is displaying msfadmin and password is not in the list. Okay, and let me check it out, and yeah, I think something wrong with my code. I have to recheck it once again and we'll see what mistake I've done. So let me clear it. Okay, so I've just made some small changes with this file, and I made a mistake, like in this function, root login function, I mentioned host in here and I was mentioning host name in here. One of the thing is mismatched, so it is struggling too much to call that function, and I was having the issue to connect with Metasploitable 2, the network issue. So that's why I was having this too much issue with this script. And what I did in here, I will just recall this, and we have the main function in here, and that will ask the user, prompt the user for IP address and the username and password file, and it will go in here with this function. It will call this function and it will try to open that file. If that file is there, it's good to go for the next one, and if there is no such file, it will print out there is no such file. And in that line, that file, it will check out each and every line, and the username will be separated, splitted out with this colon symbol, and the first half indicates the username, the second half indicates the password. Okay, and it will print out the username and password. This one is trying with the corresponding username and password. We don't need this actually to make our results looks more attractive. We need this line, and try with connecting FTP. So we will just created an FTP variable, and I tried connecting with FTP using this IP address host name we mentioned. Okay, then we have our login. So to log in with, we have our username and password, and if the login is successful, it will print out the login successful. If I don't mention this ftp.quit, it will print out this also along with our function login successful option. Okay, that's why I've mentioned in here, and it will return the username and password. Okay, so that's how we made our code in here for brute forcing of FTP. So that's it for today in this video, and will stick with us, stick with Securum Solutions, and we have more upcoming videos in the upcoming days. Okay, thank you so much. See you again in another video.